G'day, I'm Sharon and welcome. Today I am threading my Hobbylock 776 Overlocker. Open the front by pulling to the right and pulling down. Gentle when you're putting it back. On the left side, this is your apparatus for differential feed. This is your stitch length. I normally sew with a stitch length somewhere around 3, 2.5 to 3. This is for putting your blade down, and this is for moving your blade left and right. I am going to completely unthread the machine and then re-thread it. I'll begin by cutting the threads at the back. If you are familiar with sewing machines, you would probably assume at this point that if you lift the foot and pull that it would come out, and it doesn't. It's all caught up in the needle threads, so we have to dechain. To dechain, needles are at the top at the moment. I want to do 2 full stitches backwards. So from the top I'm going down, up, and now I can pull those threads out. I'm going to re-thread the machine with the colours that are indicated on the machine. To begin the threading, we go through the guide at the top. You have this as far extended as you can. We want to bring the threads from the back to the front, which means in the case of the ones in the middle, you actually bring them from the front of that and across, and that will give you the right directions. The ones on the end, it's fairly obvious what you need to do. The next part of the machine to be threaded is this guide, and in each case we're going to do the same thing, and I can do them all at the same time. I'm going to go down the big hole, up and over and down the small hole. Make sure you don't get it wound around at the side. I'm now going to thread this machine from the lower looper to the upper looper to the right needle to the left needle. It doesn't actually say you have to, but it's always good to be consistent about how you do things. There are 2 parts to the threading guide on the machine, 1 part on the front of the machine and 1 part inside the cover. So we're working on the yellow one first. The first yellow guide is here. I just put the thread through. There is a little piece of metal that pokes out in there. You need to get behind it. The second guide for the yellow one is here. Same thing. We're just going past that piece of metal, and then we're going to the right around the tension disc, and then under the yellow dot on this one. You do need to put a finger on either side usually to get them to work. At this point I will hold the thread down here and at the top and pull them, and in doing that I'm getting it properly bedded into that tension disc. The next yellow mark is over here. I'm going to go under and up. There's another one here that we go under and up. You can actually see the next yellow guide in there. I've got the foot down so that the tension discs are currently engaged. I'm going to go, and this one is also under and up. With the left side of the machine open, take the thread through the body of the machine and out to the left. This is the guide that we have just come through. Wind the machine towards you until this becomes visible. There is a tiny hole on the bottom of that, or the side of it, depending how you're looking at it, what we need to do is get the thread up through that. You can see it, hopefully, coming through there. And then it needs to go back to where it came from on the other side. And I can just put my tweezers through, pick it up and pull it back. And there is that thread. Now going to go through the hole at the end of the lower looper. With this machine, I would then suggest you take the thread out to the back. And then with the foot up, take the thread out to the left. And put the foot down, ready to do the next one. We're now going to do the red one. And that also starts at the top. On this one, it's quite pinky. From that one, we go across to this pinky one. Then we go clockwise around the tension disc and through the top one of these two guides. These are both for the red thread, but we go through one, then we go down, and then we come back up. So we're going through the top one from left to right, then we go down under the one at the bottom and lift it up, and then we go through the one on the left. The next red one is this one. We want to be behind it. And under that hook. And now we need to go through the eye of the upper looper from the front to the back. Once again, pull your thread through to the back. Make sure it doesn't get hooked on anything or unhooked, as the case may be. It's just come out of its next to last hole. And then lift the foot and take the thread underneath and out to the left. You're now able to hold that thread and give that one a tug at the top to make sure it's properly bedded into that tension disc. Before you begin to thread the needle threads, which go through these tension discs, put your needles down into the machine. It allows things to open. So we're going to take the green one, which is going to be the right needle. I go clockwise around the tension disc and then through the green mark here. Bring your thread under and then over and then through the front one of these guides. I'm not going to worry about doing the needles until I've done this one. So once again, clockwise around the tension disc, under the guide, over the top, and then this one we go through the back of the two guides here. I can then turn my flywheel to bring the needles up. These two threads need to go behind this piece that has the screw in it. It's not necessarily all that easy to get them behind, but that is part of the tensioning for the needle threads. Behind here, and it has to go all the way across. There are two little lugs on there, and I need to be towards the screw from where those lugs are. So this one I need to go behind and get across. And hopefully you can see those two threads are now behind this. Then they go behind this one, and then we can go down and thread the needles as per normal, front to back, and the machine uses regular needles. I used a needle threader to thread my needles. If you want to know how that is done, please check out my video on how to use needle threaders. My needle threads are out to the back. I need to get them under the foot and out to the left, and then put the foot down, hold these, and watch what happens to these threads as I give a tug on the top. That was those threads bedding down into the tension discs. The machine should now be ready to sew. Before I actually sew with it, I like to do some hand winding. If the machine is threaded properly, we will begin to see chaining happening over this protuberance on the foot. You can then plug it in, turn it on, and sew. I turned the volume down immensely to do that bit of sewing on the machine. The motor is just about shot. I will create a playlist that will help you with things to do with overlockers, and hopefully I will do a little bit more on the 776 before it completely gives up the ghost. And I shall see you next time.